Yeah, we are live in a countdown.
Oh, if I'm gonna be able to get this thing to stand.
Yeah, just wiggle it.
Wiggle it. There. I don't know if that's gonna. There we go. I'm in the room now.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Test 1, 2. Yep.
I didn't know it could do that.
Oh yeah,
Totally
you look pretty than a motherfucker. I can see you perfectly now.
Totally normal off season. Agreed.
After
Geography be damned. According to these motherfuckers.
It's not about physical geography. It's about socioeconomic geography.
Ask him what light setting.
Which light setting? This one?
That one right there.
Or this one?
No, the previous one.
It's too dark. Or this one?
The first one.
The first one. All right. Like at the eye doctor. 1 or 2. 1 or 2.
I'm gonna ask you 8 more times. 1 or 2. You might think you have the answer, but you really don't. 1 or 2 or 3. I'm just kidding. There's no 3. 1 or 2.
Did that affect anything? I turned the big light off.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Also, we're live in 20 seconds.
Live in 20 seconds.
I think like that.
I'm gonna put it in my work group chat because I tell my coworkers.
Yeah, man, tell him to come in. Also, this Smoothie King right here is just not. It's too. I got the wrong one. Whatever. We got to move on. All right.
You mean like 40 more seconds?
Oh, okay. We're not live yet. Actually, 40 more seconds. So says Spencer. Here we go. Let me set the clock. Here we go. Let me get 50 right here. So that's 40 more seconds on the clock for you. Hello? Can it go? Start. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
I don't know if it's at the. Oh,
Trey, is that the actual? I've heard that song so many times, but is that the actual lyrics to that song?
What?
My vision don't wiggle wiggle, it folds.
It's my money. My money don't jingle jingle. It folds because I don't have coins. I have cash.
What kind of TikTok shit is this?
It was.
All right, whatever. Starting the show. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Hash Browns and Hash Marks Game Day Breakfast podcast. There's lots of names for this bitch, but we're here, man.
It's the off season right now. 50 days until college football starts. And boy, Daryl, let me tell you something. The shit has hit the proverbial fan.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
There's been a lot of shit talk, man. There
has been.
Things have changed. NIL has flipped the world upside down. And Texas A&M has now become the New York Yankees. Alabama is struggling to. I'm gonna tell you something. This is a critical year for Alabama. Now A&M beating Alabama last year was obviously huge. It was a big win. But for them to do it, if they do it again this year after Alabama lost the recruiting war, you could see a big slide. Now I don't think that's gonna happen. You know, we're going to see what's going to happen. But
like I've been saying for years, the Bama fall off is coming, and it's coming fast.
Well, and I think if anything, if there is a Bama fall off coming and it happens now, I think it might go to show that, hey, half the reason Nick Saban's so upset is because he's been getting away with what is now legal. And now that everybody can do it, and Alabama's boosters don't have
I want to bring up a point. The only the two main coaches that have a problem with NIL are the two that have been doing what NIL is for years and getting away with it. That's Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney. You notice the two that have been the most successful in the last half decade, arguably, are the only two that are mad about it. Everybody else is fine with it.
You'd think the reaction would be, oh, cool, like that's great because we've been doing it all along. But for them to have this type of reaction, you know,
they're telling on themselves what they're doing.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw an article.
They're dry snitching on themselves hard.
I think I saw an article yesterday about Nick Saban's upset about the conference realignment as well, like having Texas and Oklahoma coming in. And by the way, now there's talk of Clemson, Florida State. Who else is talking about?
That was all a farce.
That was farce. Okay.
Yeah. Here's why I know it was a farce because they reported that they were talking to Virginia. That's how you know it's a farce.
Yeah.
If you're gonna talk to a school from the state of Virginia about being in the SEC, it's gonna be Virginia.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Where's this hatred for Virginia coming from?
No, but I'm just saying Virginia. Look at their track record. I have nothing against Virginia, But like they're not an SEC school. Like
Trey said, the Astros are now nothing but a constellation. He says, "Oh wait, that's for baseballs and breakfast sausages." That's our other podcast. We hadn't started that one yet. Could you imagine?
Wait, would you come up with the basketball one? What'd he say? Biscuits and backboards or something like that?
Biscuits and backboard. What would tennis be? Tennis would be grits and grits and rackets.
Rackets and grits.
Rackets and love. No. Grits and love. Because love is like a tennis thing.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Scoring in tennis is so freaking weird, bro.
I've never understand it. I mean, I like the idea of like if it's tied, you got to reset. But
yeah,
I watched. I did watch a lot. I've watched a lot of golf this weekend though. It's the British Open right now, and they're in St Andrews, the world's oldest course, or at least that's what they call it, the spiritual home of golf. And Tiger.
I mean, golf was invented over there, wasn't it?
Yes, and but in the 1500s, and potentially this was Tiger's last time over there. So he didn't make the cut. He was walking back on number 17, number 16 towards the stands, and he was like, he had tears in his eyes. People were cheering for him. He was waving. You know, it was a pretty emotional moment in sports.
I saw a video of Tiger. He was sitting there about to line up a putt. Somebody was like, "Can I have your old clubs?" And he started laughing. I just love how if you watch some golf videos, how casually. Like fans will just talk to the golfers, and they'll just talk right back to them.
Whenever I went to the Dell match play a couple of years ago, when Tiger walked by, there was this one guy that goes, "I love you more than I love my own father." And Tiger just kind of kept walking like, Waffles for Wimbledon. I like that actually.
Waffles in Wimbledon.
Waffles for Wimbledon.
We just need to do one-off episodes for different sports we like.
Mm-hmm.
We can do baseballs and breakfast sausages.
Honestly, I'm okay with
when
this.
The playoffs get here.
I'm honestly okay with this becoming an overall sports show. I think it's more fun that way.
It probably is.
We have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk NFL. Like every fall, we're talking about college football, and I'm just like, man.
Let's do an NFL show.
Want to do an NFL show?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Super Bowls and Sausages. No, someone already said. We already said sausages. We got to come up with a different word. Yeah. What's up, Will? Will's in here too. What's Steven saying? All these sports that I have an expert on. We got everybody.
I'm hoping maybe a couple of my coworkers will hop in. So I need to let all of you know that at work, there's 8 employees in my building, and 2 of us are named Spencer.
Mm.
But to let you know that there's me and our other guy. And
what's his name?
Spencer Rojas.
Okay.
And so,
what was your name though?
Spencer.
So both of y'all's name is Spencer? Is what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. I want to make sure I'm on the same page.
Which is rare. I like that, Will. He said talking about more sports lets you touch more bases, which is like,
mm-hmm.
Baseball pun. Super Bowls and
hilarious.
Cereal Bowls.
Super Bowls and cereal bowls. How do we? That's such a low-hanging fruit. How did I not come up with that? That's brilliant, Trey. Can we make you our?
Oh, Brian's here. What's up, Brian?
My chat is delayed. What's up, Brian?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm an hour before I leave for the airport.
Where are you flying, man?
Ecuador, I said, right?
Ecuador. What you doing in Ecuador, Brian? Damn.
Vacation, I'm assuming. Also, Brian, because this just reminded me of it. Rest in peace to, what was the guy's name? Spencer Webb.
Yeah. What, did he fall out of a building? Is that what I read about that?
He was in a climbing accident.
And
he fell off of something and he passed away. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah, climbing is so. I think you know this. I used to do a lot of rock climbing. Mm-hmm. I've witnessed some scary moments from people like not having. Not to say it's not safe. It's very safe as long as you're like clipped in. But like accidents happen, you know. And I saw somebody just completely forget to clip in one time and just fell like almost 2 stories because they got up there and were like, "Oh shit, I'm not clipped in," and then they just fell. Now, granted, it was it's like thick padding, but it's not anything to mess with, man. You gotta take every precaution.
I tried that rock climbing wall when I was in college. I tried it like twice, and it just I couldn't.
It's hard. It's extremely difficult, man. Like there's a lot of sports that, you know, obviously you have a lot of you respect every sport for one reason or another, right? Like you respect the patience of golf, you respect the grit of football, you know, you respect the IQ as a team you have to have for baseball, etc. But like rock climbing, that is just such a different type of strength, man.
Yeah. And I was speaking, you know, we were talking about golf a second ago. Someone once said that the gap in skill between a professional golfer and a very good golfer is the biggest gap in skill of among any sport at all. There's my boy Spencer. What's up, man? I'm glad you hopped in here.
What's going on, man? Welcome.
Spencer, this is Daryl. My boy Spencer, you know, I also, for the folks that are new, I moved. I live in a new place now. I live in Austin, Texas.
Hell yeah.
And my boy Spencer is a UT fan. He's from Austin, so he's gonna be a UT fan.
Spencer, how you feeling about the SEC move, man? You positive about it? You feel better now that you got Arch Manning? Is anything gonna change? What do you think, Spencer? What do you think is the key? Because I was talking to my buddy Josh. He's a big UT fan. I was like, hey man, you know, Texas got Arch Manning. That's a pretty big deal. He was like, yeah, they need like 22 other players of that caliber, then we can talk. So I don't know
about all that. I like Steve Sarkisian. I like the direction they're going in.
Yeah. I just can't.
I'm glad to have them in the SEC because I'm glad to have the big rivalries back, like A&M and UT. I'm glad to have that back. UT and Arkansas, that'll be a one that comes back.
Well, you just gotta think about that. You gotta think about that quarterback room. Like they have Arch Manning, that's great, but you also have Quinn Ewers you got now. You got to deal with, which is a good problem to have. But you know Here's the
question though: Do you?
Brian speaks facts.
Yeah.
The biggest talent gap is between recreational and pro cornhole.
Yeah, those dudes are serious.
Those motherfuckers go crazy.
Here's the question. Do you redshirt a player the caliber of Arch Manning?
I think
redshirt him?
If you can get away with it, you do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because you have 3 or 4 years? You have at least 3 years of Quinn Ewers if he plays well enough?
If he plays well enough, yeah.
So.
Well, we've seen time and time again, like this is a tale as old as time. We've seen this movie before where you got a crowded quarterback lock, you got a crowded quarterback situation like that before. You look at Oklahoma, the whole Spencer Rattler and the other boy whose name is escaping me right now.
Tanner Mordecai.
You had that situation you had for a while. Then you had it back in the day. You had Kyler Murray at Texas A&M with Kyle Allen, and then you look at who was the
Kyle
other?
Allen
there was
supposed to be.
Yeah, but he was really hot out of high school, right? So like all these crowded quarterback situations usually end with one leaving and going somewhere else. So you can't help but wonder if Arch Manning's gonna be like a year 2 transfer to somewhere else.
Look at LSU's quarterback room right now.
Or the other timeline is Quinn Ewers becomes the next what's his face? Oh, why can't I think of his name?
Young?
No, not Vince Young. Why can't I think of his name? The guy that committed to A&M, and he went to Oklahoma, and then he went to.
Tate Martell.
Yeah,
who's officially retired.
Is Quinn Ewers going to be the next Tate Martell and just be bouncing around everywhere?
I don't think so. But yeah, look at LSU's quarterback room, right?
Yeah, I agree.
We have Miles Brennan was going to transfer and he came back. And then we got Jaden Daniels from Arizona State. We got Walker Howard who came in who's very good. He's like a 5-star quarterback. And then we have another guy, I can't remember his name. I like Miles Brennan a lot, but this is going to be his last year of college. I really don't think he's going to start this year. And I feel bad for him because he was there, sat behind Danny Etling, and then had to sit behind Joe Burrow for 2 years.
You gotta feel bad, yeah, for those kids that just commit to the program, but things just never really pan out, you know?
And you feel bad for them, but also, the longer you watch sports, the more you realize they're just going to be players like that never get their shot. And you can love them as much as you want to while they're there. Because not everybody can make the NFL. We know that.
Well, and not everybody's gonna.
And not everybody wants to make the NFL either.
Yeah, and not everybody's gonna be Jalen Hurts and sit on the bench and then wait for the opportunity to come out, make their stock really big, and then be able to actually make the NFL afterwards.
Yeah, and then you're starting for you and the guy that was started over you.
Exactly.
Are both in the NFL now. So, but yeah. Brian said, bro, UCLA and USC Ducks and Huskies all talking about leaving the Pac-12. I hate this timeline. UCLA and USC have left the Pac-12. They're out.
I didn't know about the Ducks, though. Are the Ducks and Huskies thinking about going to the Big Ten as well, or are they talking about somewhere else?
I've heard Big 10. I've heard Big 12. If I am the Pac-12 right now, I am on the phone with literally the entire Mountain West. My first call is Boise State.
Yeah, go get Boise State.
I'm calling Boise State. And then I'm calling Fresno State. And then I'm calling San Diego State. I'm calling San Jose State. I'm calling Air Force. Get them in a big conference.
Yep.
I'm calling everybody. Hey, I'm calling Hawaii. Hey, come be part of the Pac-12.
Be like Samuel L. Jackson. Be like Samuel L. Jackson in the early Avengers. Just we're assembling a team.
Yeah.
Get everybody, man. Yeah, I mean, you got to think like it's a Power 5 conference right now, but the way this looks like, it feels like
we're
the
about
dust
to go
is going
Power 4.
It looks like either the dust is going to settle to a Power 4, like you say. There's some of these smaller teams are going to start finding their way to a bigger conference.
That they were in talks for the Big 12 about adding Colorado. Who was it? You know what the biggest one? I can't remember. It was like Colorado and a couple other teams.
Yeah.
One of the biggest factors in all of this, to me, is I think this is finally going to be the point where Notre Dame has to join a conference because you're going to get left in the dust if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
they need to join the Big Ten.
Seeing schools like buy their credibility at this point by moving to a conference, like Notre Dame is absolutely going to get left in the dust unless they do this at this point.
Yeah.
So,
but literally every one of their rivals is in the Big Ten.
Yeah, just put them in the Big Ten. I don't know why this is complicated.
Michigan State, USC now. You can still play Boston College every year, and you can still play Stanford every year.
I just can't.
But if the Pac-12 is about to dissolve, just put Stanford in the Big Ten too. Why not? We don't care about geography anymore.
I just can't wait for the Bruins to have to go visit the fucking Boilermakers in November. Like, that's gonna be so much fun.
That first USC versus Iowa game at night in the snow in Kinnick Stadium is going to be wonderful.
Let me tell you something.
Watch
the faces. Like, as soon as they get down more than one possession, watch the faces on the side, because it's. I want to go home. Do I really give a fuck about this 6-3 season we're currently fighting for right now?
No,
I do not. I want to go home. You're gonna see people get broken in that game.
I'm waiting for the day when we're watching 5 and 6 like Purdue versus 5 and 6 UCLA for like bowl champ for like to get into a bowl game.
And Purdue's just like, this is my time.
Yeah. Like, I talked to Brian because our boy Brian lives in the Pacific Northwest. He said it doesn't get that cold up there, even though Washington State is damn near in Canada because Pullman is right by the freaking Canadian border.
Yeah.
Yes, UCLA and USC play in places that get cold. They are not ready for Big Ten cold.
No.
They are not built. I will say this though, watching that Rose Bowl from between USC and Penn State, that first time it's USC Penn State in a whiteout game in Happy Valley, that's going to be dope.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not counting out USC and UCLA, but the Big Ten is the second best conference in the country. Like, you're going to beat up probably on Purdue and Illinois and Northwestern and Rutgers. But what are you going to do when you're playing against all these like college football blue bloods?
Right.
Like, so
who do you think? So I agree. I think that the Big Ten probably is the second best conference, but paradoxically, I find that they are the number one most boring conference to watch. Like, but Big Ten games are so like, that's just the game you put on when you need a nap before the big one comes on later. You're waiting for the 2:30 spot. They got an 11 o'clock. It's gonna be Nebraska and Wisconsin, and you're just seeing red, and it's the middle of the day. And you're just like, I'm just gonna take a nap until the Alabama game comes on later.
Yeah, dude, But Big Ten football is just fun. Like, it's boring, but it's also fun. Like,
run the ball.
It's cold. You have to run the ball.
Yeah, you have to.
In August and September, it's not that cold, but it's pretty much 40 to 60 degrees and cloudy here 9 months of the year. Yeah, it's not cold. Yeah.
But in November?
USC, like, in November, it probably gets pretty cold, but
it's got to, right?
These LA kids are not ready for Big Ten cold. And like, or they might be perfectly prepared for it because these Big Ten defenses don't really play against spread offenses that much. I mean,
that's the other side of this, right? Like, we're sitting here talking all this noise, but like the bottom line is, like, you remember the first year
A&M was in the SEC.
Yeah, you remember the first. Yeah, exactly. Or whenever
and Mizzou won the SEC
or whenever
2 years in a row.
or whenever LSU started running that spread the year that Joe Burrow had his magical year, like the SEC.
2019.
These big defense heavy conferences, like anybody can get spread out and tore up, but because it's not something you practice for.
I just want to watch the look on all the UCLA players' faces when they're playing against Nebraska and they walk 3 tight ends on the field.
Like, what? You have 3? Whose guys have? I don't know. Yeah.
You have that many on your roster?
Mm-hmm.
What's a fullback? You have one?
No, it's gonna be. This is the exciting part, right? Is just seeing all the different conflict of styles. Seeing that.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be cool about the conference realignment thing. But yeah, you do worry that. Or at least I think a lot of people worry that it's just going to get so washed out. You're going to lose some of the diversity by having all these conferences like meld together. I
did see this though. not UCLA. SEC coaches and chancellors want to stay at 16 teams. Which, yes, please. Also, can we talk about how the SEC is like the perfectly named conference for conference realignment? Southeastern. You categorically can't add certain teams,
right?
Because they're not like. Also, we need to change the name of the Big Ten because they're probably about to be 16 teams.
Right.
Change the name of the Big 12. Like, just be like the Big Midwest. Just bring the Big East back. Like, let the Big East start sponsoring football again. And like, if the ACC dissolves or whatever, bring the Big East back. Give me like Louisville and Cincinnati and West Virginia and Pitt. Like the old Big East, bring that back because that would be fun.
What's exciting for me though is that I feel that even with the departure of Texas and Oklahoma, I feel like the Big 12 is still going to feel like the Big 12. Like the teams they're bringing in are still these big, firepower offenses. Like it's going to be extremely high scoring football. You're going to have shootouts left and right. Like I think the good thing about this is I think the Big 12 is still going to feel like the Big 12 with the addition of USC, Cincinnati, U of H,
UCF, Cincinnati, U of H, and BYU.
Good to see U of H be Power 5 because they've been playing like it for a while now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should have been in the Big 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just remembered. The Big 12 was in talks with Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado about being in the Big 12, which do that, but give the ACC West Virginia and Cincinnati. Just take them.
Yeah.
You can take UCF too and just give us and give the Big 12 like Stanford or Cal, somebody like that. Because think about it. If the Big 12, because it's already going to be nuts for USC, they're going to have to go from Los Angeles to New Jersey for a conference game.
God, that's a hefty flight, man. That's coast to coast.
Yeah. So there's going to be a year.
I hadn't even thought about that, but man, you're right.
But think about it. We talk all this time about the little nuances of stuff that could change the outcome of a game. We've talked about time zone differences on this show a bunch about how that could play a factor in a game. Think about the time when USC is going to be like undefeated and they're going to be like number 3 in the country and they got to go play like 4-3 Rutgers
at an 11 o'clock kickoff
East Coast. I'm just saying stuff can happen.
Trap games, yeah, man. I mean, well, and that's I think there's circumstances like that for years now that have been the case as far as like those trap games. This is just going to be another example of it,
Like, what was one? Memphis played somebody. I think it was Memphis. And it was some team from the West. It was UCLA, I think. No, might have been UCLA. It was some team from the West Coast, and Memphis played them in Memphis. Mm-hmm. And somebody on game day was like, you got to think about time zone differences. Yeah. And Memphis ended up winning that game. So,
hey, man, I'm all for it. It encourages the chaos.
Brian says, I think it's whack when you lose the big 100-year-old rivalry's best game every year is always against the Beavers. I don't want college football without Civil War. I agree with you.
I feel like for things like that, you should include these, I feel like these out-of-conference rivalries, if they become out-of-conference because of the move, I feel like you should maintain those. I felt that same way about Texas and A&M. Like, after they move conferences, I feel like you still should have that game every year. And it's not a problem. Like, the Florida and Florida State have had that. Schools do that out-of-conference rivalry thing.
Yeah,
I don't know why it's
Florida State, Florida do it. Florida, Miami does it.
Really, the Florida schools are completely cool with it.
Yeah.
Clemson,
Notre Dame, and everybody.
Clemson and South Carolina do it. Like it's completely up to the schools. So I mean, even if the conference move happens, maybe not a conference game, but like I still could see them doing that.
Yeah, it's because like look, Notre Dame, like they're not in a conference. They can play whoever they want. They already played USC every year. Mm-hmm. Like, because they played for I think it's their battle for the Jules Shillelagh is what they played for. They play Stanford every year, I think. It's just one of those good trophies that they play for. But yeah, it's just
I don't know, Brian. The Ducks, I could see how you feel that way, but I mean, depending on where they go, I can see them. See them being still being a threat in the Big Ten.
They just need. I think the Pac-12 needs to stay together.
I think so too.
Or we just do like that tweet said. We just go back to the beginning. Let's just start conference realignment. Start all the conferences go back to what they were when conferences first became a thing, and then we'll start adding teams. Which means Tulane and Georgia Tech get added back to the SEC.
Oh God, Tulane!
Well, there would be that one year where Alabama would roll into New Orleans undefeated, and Tulane would give them a hell of a shot.
Yeah, I can see that. I would love more television for Georgia Tech just because I like their offense. I like that weird triple option thing they run.
They don't run a triple option no more.
They don't run anymore? See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't even on TV. I never see, but I know they used to run that weird triple option.
They used because they had a coach that that was his thing, and he implemented the triple option.
Yeah.
Because like it was always weird to me because Calvin Johnson went to Georgia Tech, and I was like, but they run the triple option. Like how?
Yeah.
How was he? But that was before they implemented the triple option, and they had the same coach for all these years that did the triple option.
Yeah,
and then he left or retired or something, and they have a new guy.
Yeah.
So
one of the most fun offenses that I remember watching was back in the day whenever Auburn had Nick Marshall, and they would run
I love Nick Marshall.
that little offense they had where they would just run, and they have these play options, and Nick Marshall was such a fucking accurate passer, and they would just throw a bomb out of nowhere. Like it was so much fun to watch that offense.
Or they do that little shit where you'd fake a handoff to the fullback, and then it'd be like a triple. Like he'd go run, and then he'd just pop pass it over your head when you. Something. I just got a thing about the Zoom meeting. Apparently, I have to upgrade my Zoom.
Oh really?
We have 10 minutes left.
We'll have to investigate that, but I guess we have to wrap the show in the next 9 minutes.
Hold on, let me see what we need.
I think now that you're saying that reminds me, Callie, because Callie uses it for work. I think you're required to upgrade it now. Like now that COVID is like we're 2 years in, Zoom is like, all right, we're gonna make you pay for this now. So okay. I think you're limited to 30 minutes. So we'll upgrade it for the next show or something. Or I think maybe I'll make the Zoom meeting because I think we have the upgraded version.
Okay.
But we'll just wrap the show in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Brian says, so what's your money on for Oregon versus Georgia? Betting line has us losing by 22.
I have opinions.
What you got?
I have opinions, but I was going to save them for the week one. But I'm going to tell you right now. Brian, I'm telling you right now, Oregon's beating Georgia. Flat. Just put a stamp on it. Oregon by a touchdown.
Where's the game?
Let me tell you why. Where's the game? I think it's neutral site.
I bet you it's like at AT&T. That sounds like a game he would host.
I want to say it's neutral site. We have the technology.
Oh yeah, we have the fucking internet. Let me find out.
We're literally on the internet right now.
Yeah. Oh, we're in the internet? Wow, that's crazy.
Georgia versus Oregon.
Yeah, let's both fucking look it up. That'll be entertaining for people to watch.
Chick-fil-A kickoff. It's in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Quasi-home game for Georgia.
Yeah. The Bulldogs be expecting to win. Okay, so explain this to me because I just don't see any fucking light.
Oregon's winning the game, and let me tell you why. Because Bo Nix is going to be their quarterback, and Bo Nix knows how to beat Georgia. And Dan Lanning is Oregon's coach now. He used to be Georgia's.
Why didn't he beat him? Why didn't Bo Nix beat him last year then?
Because he was injured.
Or the year before that.
If I remember right. He's beaten Georgia before.
Yeah, but then not in the last 2 years.
Yes, but he knows how to do it. And they have their defensive coach is going to know everything about that offense.
Trevor Knight didn't beat Alabama when he went to A&M.
Yes, but
even though he beat them when he was at Oklahoma, especially this ain't working that way. Oh, listen, man, I hate to say this. I'm rooting for the Ducks in that game.
That's my first bold prediction of the season, and we're not even there yet.
I'm rooting for the Ducks in that game, but I'm telling you right now, the Bulldogs are going to steamroll them. I would take the over in that. I think it's going to be by more than 22. I think it's going to be they're going to cover.
You think Georgia's going to cover the spread?
I think they're going to cover, and I think it's going to be an over. I think honestly, it's going to be like extremely ugly. Like I just have a feeling.
Brian says, I don't want to believe no one thought we could beat Ohio State. See? Exactly.
Yeah.
We got naysayers already, Brian.
Listen, man. I don't know.
Trey says Bo Nix. It's spelled N-I-X. It's not like Stevie Nicks.
Everyone talked about Jimbo being the first former Saban assistant to beat Nick Saban, but technically
on his birthday,
but technically, like that happened again later in the year, and it got overshadowed because it was the national championship, and Jimbo had already done it. Because what's his face? I always forget their stupid coach's name.
Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart did it too. So,
which is why I like. That's
oh, Will, don't worry.
Oh, he's going to.
Dude, listen,
we're going for.
No, don't get me wrong. Like I say, I am rooting for the Ducks. It'll be week 1. You know, nerves will be high. Like it's very much a possibility that Oregon scores first. There's an interception. They go down, get a field goal. It's 10-0 before you know it. But the Bulldogs will come rising. They will come charging back. I
got another bold prediction about the season, but I'm saving it.
Okay, well, let us save it then. That's fine.
I'm gonna save it for week 1. If my boy Spencer's still in here, he knows what I'm talking about. Spencer, don't tell him.
Y'all been talking about it, huh?
Yeah, we talk about it every day at work.
What do you think Texas? You think Texas is going to beat Alabama? I sniffed it. Will, hey, Will, I know.
Well, that's not my bold prediction.
I sniffed it. Okay.
That's not my bold prediction.
That's not it.
That's not it. That's part of it, but that's not it. Well, you already sussed it. So here's my bold prediction.
Let's hear it. Let's come on, get it out.
Texas beats Alabama and then gets upset by UTSA the next week.
I think you told me that a while back. That's a very Texas thing to do.
That would be the most Texas shit in the world.
That'd be on. Look, you'd be Texas. You would hear for a week. Texas is back. Arch Manning is the king. He's the guy that like blah 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 all this stuff, and then he just comes out and has like 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions the next week against UTSA. Like that would be so.
I mean, he's not going to be there this fall, is he? He's class of 23.
No, you're right. You're right. Absolutely, you're right. But it would be Quinn Ewers.
I'm just saying.
It'd be on brand.
I can see it happening.
Funny as hell. I mean,
very on brand for Texas.
I would be beside myself laughing at that shit.
It would be the funniest shit.
Because they're playing in Austin, aren't they?
Yes. They play Alabama in Austin, and then they play UTSA in Austin.
It'll be tough.
Which would make it even funnier because it's in Austin. Yes, I know San Antonio's only an hour away.
If Matthew McConaughey's at the game, they're going to lose.
Which game?
The Alabama game.
If he's at the game, they're going to lose?
If he's at the game, they're going to lose.
He's probably going to be the damn guest picker on Game Day because I guarantee you Game Day's going to be there.
Yeah, of course. That's huge media.
It's either going to be him or Vince Young. It's going to be one of them.
The whole world is going to be watching Austin, Texas that weekend. Then
I mean, I live in Austin now. I'm probably going to go to Game Day that day.
I'm going to call it right now. Everyone can talk all they want. If your prediction comes true, that's great. That's fine and dandy. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be 48-13. It's going to be ugly.
Wait, Alabama versus Texas, or
Alabama
Texas
43 versus it's gonna be 48-13. That's my score.
You think so?
I think Alabama's gonna run away with it. We'll see.
They might.
We'll see. We'll see.
We're not that far off, so.
No, not really. It's coming. We're less than 50 days away, I believe, from the first game. The Mariners Angels brawl. I didn't actually see that.
I didn't see that. Also, speaking of the Angels, I see a meme. And it's like every time I see it said something about every time I see an Angels stat, it's like Mike Trout did such and such like this, and Shohei Ohtani did something that hasn't been done since 1903. And the Angels are wasting 2 careers. Absolutely.
Just a little bit. Let me know if y'all can see this. You should be able to see it. Here's the.
Also, we got like 3 minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna make it quick. Oh God, I just clicked ahead and immediately. What triggered this? What triggered this? Hang on, the shit goes crazy here. Shohei Ohtani's pretty cool though. I like that guy.
He's like the best baseball player of all time.
A little bit. Oh, that was pretty damn obvious. I mean, he shot that shit right at his hip. Oh, this is bad. This has got disaster written all over it.
I watched a video way back in the day. This dude was talking about, he was like, shit baseball players thing. And he was like, and it was a pitcher, and he was like, yep, this guy's getting it right in the back.
Yep. Oh, this is bad. Oh, no.
Oh, I saw this.
The colors.
Yeah.
The blue and the red.
Yeah. Bloods versus Crips.
I was going to say it.
All of the Seattle teams have
Yikes.
that like dark blue and turquoise kind of vibe. Like, have you seen the Seattle Kraken, the hockey team? Their color scheme and logo is,
Yeah,
I love
pretty
it.
nice, huh?
I like it a lot.
Well, we got almost a minute left. so
We have a
probably
minute and
oughta-
30 seconds.
Any closing thoughts before I send us home?
No, just be on the lookout. You know, season 4, baby.
Season. How we really been doing this? Is gonna be the fourth year we did this.
4th year we've been doing this
We
shit.
finna
Daryl.
graduate from podcast school. What the hell?
Yeah, I convinced you to do this for 4 years with me.
Oh, it's fun. I have a good time. But we should broaden our horizons. We should. I honestly, this fall, I feel like we can do college football. Obviously, is like our big thing. But I feel like we should talk
We
about
should do
sports.
some NFL stuff.
We should do some sports in general. Like we should just talk sports news in general. And
And then the
obviously-
main show will be about college football.
exactly. So.
So.
Well, boys, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you're having a delightful Saturday and enjoy the rest of your evening. Spencer, my friend, thank you as always.
Spencer,
Enjoyed it.
Will, Brian,
Steven.
Trey, Steven. Sorry
No
it was
one
a
else
short
is
show,
looking.
but it's about to cut us off. So
Y'all boys be good. Next time we'll have Zoom figured out and we'll be on here longer. Be good. Until then, have yourselves a good one, and we will see you on the other side, my friends.
yes, sir.
Wait, let me hit the fucking wait for it. Let's see, there it is. Here we go.
Outro.